Salmon. So with matzi, you want salmon? Okay. Thanks. Let's check it out. That's all. Fine.
What we're going to do for eggs? Pesach. Pesach without eggs.
You what? Hashem can do anything. You mean the egg and breakfast for the pussy?
No, but that's all we eat. We eat potatoes, eggs, and matzo.
So you want to? No, that's it.
It's very expensive. Egg.
Yeah, my sister was complaining. It was just last week in Israel that she paid 28 shekel for 30 eggs. I said, don't complain.
This is 30, tavnit.
Right, 30 eggs for 28 shekel. I said, don't complain. They're paying the same in dollars in America. And for 30 eggs in America, you're paying now $28, not 28 shekel.
Yeah, Hashem has special favor for people in Israel.
Yes, Baruch Hashem. Hayom Kotzev Amalocha Meruba. Every minute is so precious. It's Tes Adar. Meshenichnas Adar is already Marbim B'Simcha, especially now that it's Tes
I
Adar.
just don't know. In Israel, they also have the bird flu. I mean, that's the reason for it here.
I don't know. I guess not. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper. You know, it's a third the price basically in Israel, the eggs. So Baruch Hashem, David is protecting Yidden. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about Seudas Purim. This year there's something unique about Seudas Purim because the Shulchan Aruch says that it should be done b'shachris, it should be done early. Why? Because you shouldn't go into Shabbos and your belly is full and you won't have any room for Oinik Shabbos. The Shulchan Aruch says, so there's three opinions about when you should do the Purim Suda. On the Shulchan Aruch writes that Amos writes in Simon Tov Reish Tzadik Hey, said Beis, you should do it b'shachris in the morning. Shachris probably means before Chatzos. Second opinion is the Mishnah Berurah brings from the Yad Ephraim from the Maril that you should do it before Shoah Asidis. That means that the last 3 hours of the day, there's 2.5 hours, which is Minchik Tan, a half hour before that means 3 hours, the last 3 hours of the day, you should wash before that.
So you've been going into the Shabbos with that.
You know, a meal doesn't always take 3 hours. A meal could take 2 hours too. It doesn't have to take 3 hours.
Right.
Third opinion is it's funny that they found a Meida in Ksubas Daf Zayin that says that our minig was to be poides map mekadosh, to wash close to Shabbos, and it's befeidish Meidi. It's not. They found it's a Meidi. It's a befeidish Meidi that writes this. The Meidi writes that. It's brought in the Sefer in Nogi. Yeah, the Meidi writes. It's a Sefer called Purim Shcholis B'Shabbos. And you hear the Meidi was a Rishon. He writes in Ksuvas Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. V'af onu v'aviseinu noegim b'Purim Shechol B'Erev Shabbos shemaschilun asudim m'boid yom ad shekadosh hayom u'poris imaper u'mekadshin. So
Make it in the middle of the foot.
yeah, make it. So that's a lot of fun. Poris Mapa Mekadosh party. So main thing I wanted to give today is how you make a Poris Mapa Mekadosh party.
The third.
And that's the third option. How do you basically the one, instead of getting a stomachache, having 2 meals in the day, you have one meal. You have one meal that will include the Purim meal and the Shabbos meal, and you have Kiddush in the middle, and everything is a lot of fun. So we'll talk soon about how you do Poris Mapa Mekadosh. I see a Chidush Dover, a grandson from Rabbi Akiva Eger, great grandson from Rabbi Akiva Eger. He had a grandson who became a Chossid. Rabbi Leibel Eger, he had a son who was a Chassidus Rebbe in Lublin, and there's a Sefer Shevet Mi Yehuda. So he has a Purim Torah from the year Tov Reish Ayin. That's 116 years ago.
Is Purim Torah like a joke or like a Torah?
No, not the joke. No. He was a serious Rebbe. No, this was not a. I said a Purim Torah because he said it on Purim, but not Maseches Purim. So he says a beautiful word. First, for some reason, he doesn't think it's a machloikis. He writes. It's written by his son who was killed by the Germans. Yimach Shemon, Al Kiddush Hashem. And a lot of his family was. But he writes that when the Ramah writes on Purim, you should eat shachiris, that according to the Yad Ephraim, shachir doesn't mean in the morning. It means before Shah Asidis. You say shachiris, it means in the morning. But okay, the Yad Ephraim and the Maril is entitled to his opinion. Right, exactly. But still, this is he has a beautiful pshat. Beautiful pshat. It seems like from the Torah that they were sitting at the Tish and it was already getting late. And that in general, that they started the Tish late. It's very hard for Chassidus Rebbe to start a Purim Tish. What time? 11 o'clock? At 12 o'clock? I mean, people have to go hear the Megillah. They have to go home. Shlech Manas, Matanas Avionim. They have to have a Suda in their own house. And then they're coming to the Rebbe for a Tish. Tell me that you're going to start the Tish 11 o'clock in the morning. No one's coming. Mm-hmm. So the Tish started later. So he wanted to explain that, how can you make a Tish so late in the day? It's not covered Shabbos. So he says, well, the Maril said that you're supposed to have the meal. You're supposed to wash Kodim Sha'asidis. And you're supposed to be Mamshech the meal. And he says, why? He says, because the meal that the meal that we have at Purim is Keneged, is to be Mavatal Homan. Homan, it says Homan min HaTorah Menayim shenemar Hamina Eitz. So the original sin was that 3 hours before Shabbos, the Eibishter told Adam Rishon not to eat and not to drink, not to eat the grapes or drink the wine from the Eitz Adas. He was supposed to wait for 3 hours, and then when Shabbos came in, then he would have used those grapes to make Kiddush on those grapes. So Amina Eitz Asher Amarti Lecho, that you shouldn't eat, you ate. So from that came the koyach. Therefore, there was a tarubas of toivera, and from this comes the yinika of Homan Arosha. And the Suda of Purim is to mahapech the machshav of Homan Arosha. So therefore, it's dafka inyan, according to the Maril, to eat it, to wash before Asher Asidis, and to be mamshech the Suda later. He's probably saying it as a limit schools because that's what was happening. It must have been sitting at a tish, and it was late on Friday. And then he says a beautiful word. So anyway, that's his word. So his word is that it's not a diovet. It's a lachatchila to make a sud at that time. And then he goes into, he says that it says that there's three things a person is supposed to say out of Shabbos. So he says if you count all the first words of the 10 names of Haman, it's Reish Nun Hey. Adliku Aner is said especially for a year where Purim is Cholis Be'erev Shabbos. There's a special koyach to be mahapach the Haman, because Haman's koyach is from Hamina Eitz, and we're burning up the Aseres B'nei Haman. We're burning, and then he goes to the whole thing that it says that 10 candles couldn't extinguish one candle. The 10 brothers of Yosef, Kol Shekain. So he says that there's the 10 of Nefesh Bahamas and 10 of Nefesh Lakis, and through the Sudas Haman, Sudas Akishvedish, were mehapech to get rid of the Aseres B'nei Haman. So here's another cute matri. It says that Beis Yaakov is Eish. Alamafreya, it's Oisi Shabbos. So therefore, there's some Beis Yaakov Eish. So there is Shin Beis Tov Shabbos. So the Mamshech the Koyach from Purim Shecholis Be'erev Shabbos, a special Indian to Mahapach. The Koyach of Haman is from the Chet Eitz Adas, So now we're eating a Sudan this time. Instead of the eating being a eating of Taibas Aguf Fakert, it's a Yachilu de Kedusha. And that's Fakert that gets rid of so through that we get rid of the 10 koiches of the Efsha Bahamas and that's the Indian of Adliko Haneid, that the one candle, which is the Neshama, that there's 10 koiches of Nefesh Bahamas that try to go against it. And through the Sudas Purim, we're Mahapakir. Okay. So, the emphasis, there's a lot of Chassidish Toides about Sudas Purim being like an unbelievable thing. Okay. Anyway, so bottom line is you have three shittas, really. There is a shitta which is have a chakras, that's the din of Shulchan Aruch. I mean, that's really what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wash before chatzos. Then there is another.
What time is Chatzot? What?
No, now places are about one something. So we're like 1 o'clock. That's what you should do. Now, if you have a special reason why you want to do later, so you could go with the Maril. It's also a shita. You could do that as well.
When you get down to it, the time for the Suda is all day. All
Right.
these people say all these other names, just like stuff edited
Right.
so they
No.
shouldn't be in the shalom. You know,
Okay, right. So,
it's not really a shita in Holocaust.
oh, yeah, because the Maskon in the Gemara in the beginning of Arvi Psochim is that the real Isur is only an Erev Pesach
Yeah,
and not an Erev Shabbos. So the real Isur that have come in place was only negated to Erev Pesach.
What did we do this year, Dr.
We'll get to it. I don't want to ruin the share from then by giving it now.
The parents have a minute on Purim, not on Fridays. They have two shooters. We do one.
It seems from Shulchan Aruch there was such a minhag. Because there's a whole discussion about if a person didn't say the person didn't say Valanisa.
Wow.
So the point the Alter Rebbe passes that it's that's why it's mashma. You don't have to have pass because you're not mechuyev really to have pass. It's a shayla you mechuyev to have pass, not mechuyev to have pass. But there is the Magen Avraham does bring that in the first Suda you must say it again. The second Suda machna shtois. It's from these words in the Magen Avraham is mashma that there was such a minhag to have two Sudas. It's agav urcha, just mashma that way. Okay. So for sure, it's good if your person could make the Suda in the morning, but there might be a reason. Marshall, I invite. We have a lot of people at the Purim
You mean
Suda.
in the morning? You mean before 1 o'clock?
Yeah, before 1 o'clock. But I'm inviting any person. I invite people that I suspect might not hear the Megillah and Shul. So I invite them to Suda's Purim. So if you didn't get an invitation, because Purim means I know for sure you heard Megillah. So a few of the people that I invited, they said, "Oh, we're working in the morning. We can't do it in the morning." So I'm going to make it before Shah Sidis. This way, the people that I'm inviting, I want them to hear Megillah. That's why I'm making a big Sudas Purim in my house. I'm making for people that are not hearing Megillah, or I'm not sure they're hearing Megillah. So if people are telling me that they're working and it's hard for them to come in the morning, then what's the point of making the Suda then in the morning? So I'm going to rely on the Maril, and I'm going to start the Suda before Shah Sidis. But the third possibility really. So the option is to make a Puris Mapa Makadash. But there is a problem with Puris Mapa Makadash. It's very complicated to do it, and I want to go through what it means to do Puris Mapa Makadash. So, the truth is, it's not such a foreign thing. As a child, I grew up with Puris Mapa Makadash a lot. Why? Because the Rebbe used to make fabrengens. So, for example, just like this year for Purim, but it was every Yom Tov. It was for Yom Tov was say like this year we had some festival was Thursday, Friday, and then a Shabbos Bereshis. So the fabrengen was always the Rebbe used to make the fabrengen to start 1 or 2 hours before Shabbos, and they used to announce that everyone should wash and start eating the Suda. And then they used to have one person that they used to cover the challah, and one person used to make kiddush. They used to mamish do Puris Mapa Makadash. The Rebbe himself was not Puris Mapa Makadash. I'll explain soon why. It could be api nigla, and could be also api kabbalah, that it doesn't make sense to be Puris Mapa Makadash, because Arizal says the Kapakaim brings in Tafresh Tzadik Hey that Arizal said that you're supposed to make kiddush after Ma'ariv. Api kavana al yona, you're supposed to daven Ma'ariv. Usually, if you're Puris Mapa Makadash, you're going to daven Ma'ariv after the meal. I'll explain soon. So it could be it's Alpi Kabbalah, it could be Alpi Nigla. Again, I'll explain the problems of Purim Map Mekadesh in a second. So the Rebbe himself, he used to not be Purim Map Mekadesh. The Rebbe used to stop eating. But then the Rebbe made Birchas Hamazon, and he would announce that he's not going to be saying Ritzei, because he didn't eat Akazais when it's night. But whoever ate should be saying Ritzei. And the Rebbe would not drink that kosher bracha. He would take the cup back with him, and then he would use that same kosher bracha. No. For he used to make another farbrengen and make Avdola on that kois, and then he used to keep from that kosher bracha. In Toshim Em Dalet, the Rebbe said that he sees that people are getting very mixed up with Pores Map and Mekadesh, what you're supposed to do and you're not supposed to do, and it's complicated, and this one is not saying it say, and yet saying it say, this one is eating and not eating, and people are not copying because it's complicated to be Pores Map and Mekadesh, and he stopped it. So from then on, there was no more Pores Map and Mekadesh. Like I said, when I was a child, I remember always they used to announce, a person made Kiddush. It was an interesting scene. Pores Map and Mekadesh. And then it stopped. In Toshim Mandala, the Rebbe stopped it for everybody. The Rebbe said he sees that no one should do it because he sees that people are not doing Vas Madaf. He never did it, but he says he sees that that there's a lot of proteidinim here and people are not following. So forget about it.
If you're not forced,
When they have it for bringing, everybody's standing. I mean, how can you?
No, they used to pass around challah, and also like I used to as a child. I know what I did. I used to bring a little bag with a challah inside, and I used to have it in my pocket, and I used to nibble a little bit, and they used to pass around wine.
There's no tables, though.
There was no tables.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I used to stand. I had my place. I had a Mokum Kula from Tov Shemem, and I used to stand there. I had in my pocket a bag, and I used to have challah, and I used to take a little piece, and I used to make l'chaim. That I used to say l'chaim lebrocha. So you had wine, you had challah. Meal was wine and challah. It wasn't.
Pores Mapa and Mekadesh. If you don't pick Mapa, it can be Mekadesh without Mapa.
Now we'll learn about it. So now let's learn about it. What's Pores Mapa Mekadesh? So first, before we read it inside, I want to give an overview. And if a person is the din is if the shas, if it's nimshach, the meal is nimshach into the night. It was for whatever reason. A person has the right to take a cloth, put it over the bread, make kiddush, and then uncover the bread. And now it's evident that this challah is not stam challah left over from a Friday meal, from a Purim meal. It's nikah that this bread is now l'kovet Shabbos Kodesh. And now the hemshech of the meal is counted a Shabbos meal. Okay, that's the din of the shas. The problem is that the Rishonim have two problems. So now you're in a bind. If you didn't make Birchas Hamazon before Shkia, so you can go from the frying pan to the fire. Azoi. If you're going to do Pores Mapa Mekadesh, you have a small problem. Because even though the Gemara says you should be Pores Mapa Mekadesh, the Gemara never made clear if you're supposed to make hamoitzi later for the bread that you continue eating. It's a machlokes rishonim. You make hamoitzi, you don't make hamoitzi. It's a machlokes rishonim. One shitta says that you have to make hamoitzi because you said kiddush, and kiddush is a hefsek from the previous meal, and b'shas kiddush you're not allowed to eat. So you put into two things at once. So therefore it's a hefsek. So now you have to make a moitzi. And the other Rishonim say, no, you don't make a moitzi. It's not true. It's not a hefsek. It's a hemshech. It's not a hefsek. So what are you supposed to do? Make a moitzi, not make a moitzi. Look, safek brachas lahakol. So you don't make a moitzi. But the Alter Rebbe says, a bal nefesh should try not to be nenem oilam azebel bracha. So therefore, really try to bench before shkia. So because if you're going to make Pores Mapa Mekadesh, you can have the problem. You're not going to know if you should make a moitzi or not. But once it's already shkia and you're still eating the Purim meal, to say I'm going to bench now, you have a double problem. That Amos says you're going into machloi kois, and that Alter Rebbe is saying that Rama meant loshen rabim. That Rama meant there's two issues you're going to go into. What are the two issues you're going to go into? Two major issues. One issue is like this. What are you going to do with the koshel baruch? If you have even three people, you're going to do a koshel baruch. So now now you made Birchas Hamazon. When you finish Birchas Hamazon, one opinion says, well, you have a kosher bracha, so you have to drink it. So you make Boire Pri Hagafen, drink the kosher bracha, drink up the kosher bracha, and then don't make a lagefen because the bracha shenet tzricha. Now make kiddush and skip out the Boire Pri Hagafen from kiddush. Make right away kiddush. Okay, that's one opinion. The other opinion is no. Take the kois from Birchas Hamazon, put it aside on here, and then make kiddush, and then drink from here. But you can't make the two koises together because I know it's a mitzvah, chavilas, a big sugya and arvi psochim. Even though the Gemara says that kiddush and avdallah is not considered two separate mitzvahs, but kosher bracha and kiddush or avdallah is two separate mitzvahs, and I know it's a mitzvah, chavilas. So that's problem number one. And then you have another problem, which is a more serious problem, which is, what are you going to do now? You did Birchas Hamazon, and now you're going to have a Shabbos Suda. So and after Shabbos, you're going to make again Birchas Hamazon. So really, you did a Bracha Shenet Tzricha. Who asked you to bench? Why didn't you do what the Gemara told you? The Gemara told you to be Pores Mapa Makadosh. The Gemara told you that you're supposed to be Pores Mapa Makadosh. Oh, you have a problem. You know the Machlokes Rishonim, you should make a Moitzi or not. So you benched, and you had now another meal, and you benched the second time. So 4 times you said Shem Shemayim Lavatola. It's like a person making Boire Pri Eitz, eating an apple, and second time making Boire Pri Eitz and eating an apple. Third time Boire Pri Eitz and eating an apple. We spoke about it once barichas from the Tvu Shoyim, the Simcha of Chesed Yeridea, who says, what's the problem? Every Shabbos we have a problem with 100 brachas. What's the problem? Take an apple, cut it into 10 pieces, make a eights, and have in mind that this eights is only for this piece, and make 10 times a eights. Solve the problem. So he says, no, that's a bracha shenet tzricha. Who are you fooling? The Rebbeinu Shalom you're fooling, yourself you're fooling, the oilam you're fooling. Who are you fooling? You know you want to eat the whole apple. You're cutting it into 10 pieces. You're making 10 brachas. That's called Shem Shemayim Levatola. So similar to here, your Suda, it ended up that your Suda's Purim is Nimshich, and now it's already after Shkia. So the Gemara says, be Pores Mapa Makadosh. No, but I don't want to do that. So I bench.
You don't marry if you continue the Suda.
Afterwards. You can do afterwards.
After the meal of Shabbat.
After the meal of Shabbat. That's why the Arizal doesn't like it. The Kaf HaChaim says, the Kaf HaChaim is your poisek. Kaf HaChaim is the last big poisek in Baghdad, right? Kaf HaChaim, Rabbi Yaakov Sofer, Zechrein Lebroch. So he says that the Arizal didn't like that because the Arizal said that you're supposed to have a Maida first and then make Kiddush. Maybe that's why the Rebbe didn't like it. But it could be the Rebbe didn't like it also Pinigla because then there's a problem with the Hamoitzi. So that's the eight. So that's probably what the Rebbe had in mind. What the Rebbe can do for all the Fabrengens and from Tavshim and Dalet. So that's they benched. The Rebbe benched, and they didn't drink the kois because of Shaila. The Rebbe would put aside the kois and bring the kois back up to his room, and then they would daven Ma'ariv right there, right after Birchas Hamazon and Simon they would daven Ma'ariv. Big minyan, 2,000, 3,000 people daven Ma'ariv. And then you go home. That's not a bracha. A person is not you can't say it's a different suda. You can't say a person is. In the morning, we should wash, eat breakfast, and nobody must see Adar sit at your table for lunch or supper. You're not in jail. So that's if you taka going to go away, and that's what a lot of people are going to do, even if they're sudas nimshech after shkia. And that's what I'm planning to do, just in case it gets nimshech after shkia. Obviously, the women are gonna light 18 or 20 minutes before Shkia, but whatever, if people are still around, we'll bench, we'll go to shul, and we'll sing the Chadoidi, and we'll dance, and be lebedik. I'll come back home. By the time we come back home, it's a new thing, and it's not bracha shenet tzricha. So anyway, I think time is short, so if we'll have time, maybe we'll read the Shulchan Aruch Innovenik on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. But this is the bottom line of the. So the din of the Gemara really is, when we had many years ago, we had here a yeshiva, and everyone with the Talmidei yeshiva was so excited. They made a Pores Mapa Makadosh party. They were because we learned the sugya, and they were so excited. The truth is, for the Talmidei yeshiva, it was good, and they got up early, and they davened, and they heard Megillah, and then they went out to read Megillah and do Miftzah Purim to bring Mishlech Monas, Matanos Lavyonim, and to read in different places. And then before Shabbos they came back and they washed and they had the Suda and they did Purdas Mapa Makadash and they made a minyan and they bent before Ma'ariv and then they have a Ma'ariv and they did the way they did in Shulchan Aruch. Hamoitzi, okay, so Safek Bracha Slahakal, they didn't make a moitzi. They worked it all out. No, they didn't make a moitzi because Chashayla can't make a moitzi. So no, they didn't have a mind. They have a mind afterwards. So there are people are going to make. So a lot of people I see. I don't know where it was. I saw in the corner of my eye someone advertised a Purdas Mapa Makadash party.
Party.
Right, that's what Emes is. It's a little bit of a problem. If you're already you're gonna drink, and then you're gonna have a mind. It's a lot of. That's true. There's another problem to add to the problems in Purdas Mapa Makadash, but there is a possibility, and like I said, it's dynamic. It's like a funny thing. You cover the bread. You make kiddush. Also, when you make kiddush, you don't make bread priyagofen because you already made. I mean, it's a sort of pudding, right? So So you already made Bode Priyagofen. So you don't make Bode Priyagofen, you make Kiddush without Bode Priyagofen. And the bread is covered, and then you uncover the bread, and you don't wash, you don't make another mitzvah because chazaf and brachas. So it's a funny thing. And when you finish the meal, you're gonna say Alanissim and it's say because you ate a kazais before and a kazais after. And we learned about this 2 months ago about it shouldn't be a contradiction, but there's no contradiction because he's saying first it's say for Friday. First Alanissim for Friday, and then. But in Eretz Yisrael this year, there's a very funny Purim in Yerushalayim. It's called the Purim Mishulesh. Some things you do on Friday, some things you do on Shabbos, some things you do on Sunday. Friday, you do Kriyas Megillah and Matanos Lavyonim. Shabbos, you read the Kriya for the Purim Kriyas HaTorah, V'yam Amalek. And Sunday, you do Matanos Lavyonim and Sudas Purim. So over there, you can have the funny shaila we spoke about, and maybe we'll explore it this week on a Tuesday or Wednesday night shir. So if a person was mamshir in Yerushalayim, it's not such an uncommon shaila. In a Chassidish Yishtib in Yerushalayim, they're having through the shlishis, and it's nimshach into the night, and they had one kazais before and one kazais after. So now there's a shaila of Alanissim, and it's you're saying Alanissim for Sunday. And then let's say for Shabbos, L'chori is doing it the other way around. What are you supposed to do? I'm sure they figured it out. I think it's Beseda, whatever, based on a shir that I'm not sure. Actually, I still want to think about it.
Sunday also,
They're saying no, because they're saying Alanissim on Sunday.
They can say Rachman.
They can say Rachman, right? That's okay. I didn't look into the literature, but I'm sure the Olam. I mean, this Svarim. There's a few people that wrote Svarim on Purim Mishulish. There's a few svarim printed on Purim.
How often come Purim Mishulish?
My daughter told me that in school they said that the next Purim Mishulish is in 36 years.
Wow.
So wow.
When I was in Yerushalayim, Purim Mishulish, so I said I'll only see both Friday and Shabbat. Because it says before the Farash and you told me that really anybody who's Yotze in the 14th.
Yeah.
It's just a mitzvah that if you're in the crop, you should do it on.
So you said Alanissim also on the Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Were you ever in Yericho for Purim?
No.
No.
I was in Yericho, but not on Purim.
Okay.
And I saw the walls of Yericho.
Your yeshiva was in Shechem or Yericho?
Yericho.
Huh?
Yericho.
But you were never there on Purim?
No.
Okay, because it's a big discussion.
Yeah.
Very good.
The yeshiva was not far from the walls.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was within the walls or outside the walls? It's samach benira. It doesn't matter. If the answer is that Yericho is considered, then
it was certainly the whole
right. I can't wait to look into the Shaila. I'm planning to look into the Lomdus of this week, just because next Shabbos is going to end up being the Shabbos where it would be relevant. If you were right now in your yeshiva in Yericho, you would have been looking into the Shaila this week. No? Okay, so we know that.
Yeshiva was mitzvah. No, it was in Yericho Mamash. Oh, because my brother-in-law was teaching mitzvah. So he said, beautiful yeshiva there.
No, this is Rabbi Ginsburg's yeshiva, right? Yeah, it was in Yericho.
They kill you. The Arab,
Rahman al-Islam. It's our place.
Yericho is
It's Keva
not so
Yosef
bad.
Atzadik. I'm sorry, that's
It's not
Shem.
in here, but
Yericho is Manula Shaladet Yisrael.
the Arabs burned it down.
what? Yeshiva?
There was the yeshiva was a big place of it from the time of the Amoraim.
No.
That's where the yeshiva was. But since they had all the trouble and the army forced them to leave, so the Arabs just started to burn it down.
Whatever. Lichbish is a malka im babayis. Yeah, and then people say why we shouldn't respond. Big deal, they burnt the building, but then they kill people. When you let them burn buildings and they get emboldened later to kill people, Rahman al-Islam.
Broken windows.
Yes. Anyway,
But
Mashimon.
how do you finish without saying very forgotten?
Because they in the Purus map of Makadish, if the person already made Boda Priyagofen, he's in the middle of the meal, he doesn't make again Boda Priyagofen.
So what kind of conscious thing?
So he makes Kiddush, he says Savrim, he says Yom HaShishi, and he skips Savim around on Boda Priyagofen, and then he goes in, Shekeshonim Tzoyis of Ratzbonov, Shabbos Kochim Avarotz and Chalon, the Kornel Masi Vereshis, still in the Kroy Kodesh.
The brachas are a bracha for now up road. It's like one of those types of brachas. You take out a bracha, you
That's what it is. But that's it. It's a funny that just what the Rebbe's problem with this, the Olam doing it, was not the halacha problem, because the Rebbe used to have it till Tashar Dal. It was a poshut. People got mixed up on what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do. It's complicated. So that's why the Rebbe stopped it. The Rebbe stopped it. But
what are you doing there? What's
we'll do as the poshut pshat and Shulchan Aruch. We're making the Suda b'Shachris, or some people will make it. And we'll come here, we'll dance, we'll chadoide. Mincha's a shiloh. It would be good if we make here a minyan mincha earlier in the day. So it's good.
Put down, I think, 1:45.
That'll be very good if we can make mincha here earlier in the day. People that already washed, they could go have a mind that they're going to walk out of their house and come join. You're allowed to have a tefillah in the middle of a suda, and that's not a hefsek in the suda l'chol adayis. It's part of the discussion. And those people, so this way, because there is levisumei, there is inyan to drink, and as you keep on during the day drinking more and more, so there is inyan to daven mincha. So if we make a minyan mincha 1:45, it'll be very nice. But versteht sich, when we come here later, if there's 6 people that didn't daven mincha yet, let them make another minyan. What's the problem? But for sure, we should have a Levitic Tfilas Arvis. And that itself is also a reason why not to make Purtis Mapah. And then people are home and get daven maidav, didn't daven maidav, and you know that the Rebbe had a big koch that the Ramo used to put on a mask and he used to walk around to that's brought in Svarim. It's brought in the Sefer Leva Ivri, who was Rabbi Yosef Schlesinger in Yerushalayim, that he said that it was the Kabbalah that Ramo used to walk around, and every chotzer in Krakow he put on a mask, and he used to announce Oif Maidev Bizmana, to remind everyone to do Maidev. So for sure, that in itself is another reason why not to do Kodesh Mapah on the Kaddish party. Oif Maidev Bizmana, to remember Oif. Yeah, Oif Maidev Bizmana.
It's not fire.
Yeah.
It means even, isn't it?
On top, or to do, it changes a little bit. I remember these 3 words: Oif Maidev Bizmana. That's what he wrote in the Leva Ivri. Oif Maidev Bizmana.
Oh no, oif.
Oif means also. No, oif.
Oif.
Yeah, it's like a connecting word. You should also remember. Or you should. I don't know what it means, but those are the words he used. Oif Maidev Bizman. Okay. So definitely we should make here the tefillah, and we should make it with a lot of dancing, and then everyone will go home and have Sudas Shabbos. Shouldn't Chas v'Shalom be nigra from Sudas Shabbos.
You would have mashkash?
We'll make Shabbos day. We'll make a big kiddush with a lot of mashka. Now look, it's Purim Mishulish. It's a big deal. It's Shusha. We're not going to say Avarachma. There is certain things, even a chutzlar that in Shusha Purim we do. Okay, 2 quick questions. Someone's asking me. He wants to make my daughter. She wants to make a milchik suda for Purim because it's Friday. I said the Rambam says befedish. Ketzat choyva suda zu sheyochel bosser v'yitaken suda no k'vi yashatim tzayod v'shoysi yayin ad shishtake v'iradim shekrusei. I found
you do chicken.
That's any time when it says basar, it's better to have real meat, according to the Rambam. And I found that the Rebbe has a beautiful letter where he talks about the Gewalt of Seudas Purim, and time is short now, but maybe in one of the week during the week I just read it. It's a beautiful letter from the Rebbe. It's like a very heartsick letter that the Rebbe wrote about the Gewalt of Seudas Purim. And in a footnote, the Rebbe writes, first of all, he writes if you have to have bread or not. It's a big shaila, and then he brings you have to have meat. The Rebbe says, look in the Nemuki Oirachayim from the Minchas Aluzer. And the Rebbe says the bottom line is the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring it, so it's not a chiyuv. But there's a sikh in Tav Shemam Ches where the Rebbe said was on Purim. The last few years, a few times the Rebbe spoke on Purim, and you have beautiful pictures of the Rebbe giving out dollars and especially smiling to the kids that were dressed. So the Rebbe said the Lapoil Seudas Purim Minig Yisrael is with Achilas Basar. Now, the Nemuki Orachayim, the Minchas Aluz, has a beautiful pilpul on this. He says, basically, first of all, he says, it's really totally in every Yom Tif. There are poskim that say Yom Tif, you're mechuyev to have basar. And some poskim say not. There's the shaila is, the chiyuv of basar and Yom Tif, is it really basar shlomim, or is it regular basar? He has a whole, but then at the end of his beautiful long pilpul, he has, he says like this. He brings a few rayas from obscure places in Shas. It's a Megillah. It says over there, Loikchim Asagolim va Moiser Yipol Lekishel Tzedakah. Rashi says that the money of Purim you buy a cow, and the rest of the money goes to Kishel Tzedakah. So it's mashma from the Gemara that the minhag was to take a egel for Seudas Purim, and so then he says Shuvirani Megdoyle Talmidei Yeshivaseinu Kibafsam Soifa Maseches Chulin already chapped the Sarai from Shas and Baba Metziah Sheshoich Yinas Agolam Purim Umefurish Berambam Heirani. He says I was just thinking that Pilpul Baalma Ayuchayiv Babasanat, but Heirani that's a Beferish Rambam. I mean, to Lubavitchers, I've been learning already 44 times at Rambam, so Selecting Cup, that it's somewhere in Hilchos Megillah, that Rambam says you have to do the basar. But he says, one of my Talmidei Yeshiva, he was very proud, was murdered that Shulchan Aruch doesn't say that Rambam says, Choy v'Seudas Purim sheichel basar. Ulepela ki divrei Rambam, elu keniru nelmu merabiseinu hapoiskim v'Magen Avraham. How could the words of the Rambam be forgotten? But the Rebbe says, since the poiskim doesn't bring it, they didn't hold of it. However, the Rambam does say they should have basar. And there's one more thing that I chapped last night, that I told my daughter. How could you have a milch kesuda? How could you have the minhag Yisrael by Ashkenazim must have kreplach? So she said we can have raviolis, and then ravioli nishkin kreplach. Kreplach is nishkin ravioli, and ravioli nishkin kreplach.
Why they have a minhag?
There's a lot of reasons for it, and one of the reasons is that there's chesed and gevura, that the meat is reimes on the gevura, and the lechem is reimes on chesed, and the chesed covers over the gevura, mamtik dinim. That's one of the many reasons, but if that's the reason, so then you're gonna cover the cheese with dough.
The Rabbi has to go to what she prefers. So she's an over. She say no. So it means she brings some bigger. So that's simple as young.
No, but the Rambam says it has to be basar.
It's meat.
Yeah, for him, he's saying, but not this. But the Rambam says basar.
I think myself, something girls like to know.
Yeah, I know. So, but how are you going to do kreplach? The minhag from kreplach. Ravioli, nishkin kreplach. And it's a chelik in the suda. This is the minhag Yisrael.
What are kreplach?
Kreplach is dough, and you put meat inside.
Soft dough.
And you cook it.
Right.
I think that the Rambam really has to start boil it. When he said she'll call basar.
I hear that's what he's saying also. He meant the people that basar to them is choshuv.
Yes.
Not like the he's saying fakert. He's saying that the Rambam has a shita. That simcha ain't simcha ela bebasar, ain't simcha ela beyayin. And some holds ain't simcha bebasar means basar shlomim. We don't have basar shlomim. The Rambam holds simcha means basar b'stam. And the truth is, even if you say like the Minchas Elazar, but that's for a man who to him the simcha is bebasar. For him, we say in some kind of a basar. But for
I
a
don't
woman,
enjoy meat.
huh?
I don't enjoy meat. It's not
Right.
chicken.
All right. Okay, but you can't get out with the kreplach. The kreplach is still when I. How can it be ravioli? Ravioli is not this stuff. Minigis at all. Minigis at all is to take a shtickle basar and cover it.
Red meat.
Yeah, red meat. As always, minigis at all.
I've made seudat purim at the pizza place because I like pizza better than me.
Okay, listen, you're right. Pete Din in the Shulchan Aruch. You're right. Look, yeah, pizza is and if you go to Italy, they'll tell you the pizza is the best achila. It's very kosher.
Your daughter going to make some krepla?
Yes, I
Going to eat first one.
yes, Emetz Hashem. One more question. And just I was just thinking, today there's these cryptocurrencies. Can you give cryptocurrencies for why I'm asking this question? Because we said that there has to be contemporary shilas. The other two shilas I spoke about are not contemporary. So I figured I'll ask a shaila, I'll put in the shaila, can you use Bitcoin?
What's the difference with dollars?
Mm.
It's all based on the value of the economy.
So then that's the answer. I see that they were talking about checks or credit cards. So
Money.
so checks, l'choira is not real money, credit card. But the bottom line is that in the Hilich Shlomo from they bring from Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, that he said that the bottom line is could the oni is even a check. It says if he can go to checks cash and he'll take this check and give it. To say you gave him a check for $10, Lamazan he'll get $9, but still he'll get $9. So if it's shayach, then on today he would go to checks cash and give it. What's the difference if you have credit in your account? If your bank is going to respect the check, the bottom line is he comes there and he could get $9 for the $10. Or credit card, he could run your number, and today he could be nana from it. So that's the bottom line. Could he be nana from it today? Could he be nana from it today? If you're giving someone a Bitcoin, he could be nana right away. He could sell it. I think any oni, if you gave him one coin from Bitcoin,
$89,000.
he'll be very, 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 very happy.
Today, all the Mishulachim going with credit card machine in their hand.
Right, and they come with a credit card machine. So,
that's something new.
so it's not a problem according to the Shlomo Zalman Auerbach.
Pays the money today. He has to wait till it clears the bank and
They can't use it right away.
Oh, they can't?
So then it has to be that check it was
you
shy.
go to a grocery store and
Right.
give them a check.
So then they're not. It has to be. It's a very. He's saying a very posh svar. He's saying, could the oni today be nana from this? So I hear what you're saying, because this you got to wait with the credit card till things move around. The process it could be.
Next day or whatever.
Yeah, so the next day shanish good. So taka. The truth is a good point. Today they come around with the credit card, and
They come when
if they can't.
they come to you when you're Shmonai.
That's not good.
Come on.
Yeah, that's not good. But okay, David shall helfen that the Rabbi Shalom should give us these big coins, these coins, not cryptocurrency, the emes currency, shkolim. Emes Shikli HaKodesh, Niksaf Nechsafta, spiritual currency and also material currency that every Yid should have. Emetz Hashem from the Eibishter Brochus, Miyodai, Hamleya, Psucha, Gedosha, Garchova.
I don't think that big client. Yelling clubs are walking up there.
Yes, very good.
Did you ever
I don't know. Are you going to make some more pizza this week? The pizzas you're going to make, you're not going to eat on Purim.
Right. Good point. I like they're going to one out there. Big guys.
They know they can use your pizza. Yeah, he's going to be buying your pizza. Get people to a special sauce.
It's close up there.
Did you check into that question about the jury duty? If you're
Yeah, I did it, covered it last 2 weeks ago. You weren't here?
no, that wasn't here.
Oh, yeah, you can watch. Bottom line is, I said it's mutter.
Can you send it the
Last parents, not last week, the week before.
Second chance, you invest on
Oh,
something.
we listened to it. I went through it in detail.
Call it big one.
Herod, can you send me the
Yeah, okay, so but you try to
yeah.
Simcha Torah.
So what is the question about checking on
Whatever you like to eat, that's the truth. The Rambam does mention basar, so it's like every Yom Tov. Even though on Yom Tov it says basar, Some people are makpid on Yom Tov to eat basar.
You mean, some people eat chicken on Shabbos, so that's not.
Shabbos is different. The thing of Ein Simcha Basar is only Lagabi Yom Tov. Some people are makpid on Yom Tov to have meat.
Right.
Basar shoyer, basar egel, basar flare, to have lamb or to have roast or whatever.
Okay.
Shkoyach, everyone that's joining us. Shmulik, Yeshikoyach, Yeshikoyach.